Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline, and today we're going to discuss split screen sunsets and crepuscular and anti-crepuscular rays. Okay, so what is a split screen sunset? Here you can see an image of one. Basically, they're saying that a cloud or mountain or something that may not even be in view will block the sun at sunset and cause it to be dark in one region, and you'll still see the sunset rays in the other side. So this is an example of a split screen sunset. This has not been altered in any way. This is just how it looks, supposedly. Here's another one. Okay, I've never seen any of these in real life, and I've never heard of them until just recently. Okay, here, this one's interesting because it looks like it might be the mountain here. They say that mountains can do it. The mountains are blocking the red rays here, but not in this region. What I find interesting about this is not only have I not heard of it until recently, but also if this mountain could do this, then any time the sun sets around that region, so perhaps once a year, there should always be a split screen. And I haven't heard of anything like that, but it should be in an annual event if the mountain does that and the sun always sets in the same place every year. Okay, here's another split screen. This is interesting because there's a big cloud here, and so supposedly these clouds could block it. Another one. So I would guess maybe this big cloud here is blocking it, is the storyline. Some of these are pretty extreme. Anyway, lots of images of these. Okay, so this is the person that brought it to my attention. I was on Redcon, and Sagittarius Craig just posted this today. Split screen or split sky sunsets are apparently normal and have existed forever. And the examples I just showed you were from this link right here. Here's kind of an image that's basically supposed to show you how it's supposed to work. So you have the sun here, and you have all these clouds here, and the sun shines down on the clouds and makes them red. But here you have a big cloud blocking it. Maybe it's out of sight. And so all the clouds that are past it supposedly would not get the sun, red sun. So that's the storyline for that. But I never saw this until just recently. It sounds good on paper, though. Okay, here's another one. Interesting one. Okay, so they're kind of saying that this is an offshoot of crepuscular rays. What's a crepuscular ray? Those are kind of like those God rays or just individual rays that peek through the sun. Now, I had heard of these way back. I had seen some images of them, kind of usually more like this image here, where the sun would peek through either clouds or some kind of trees or something. I'd seen images of them in magazines, and I got the impression they were really rare because I had never ever seen one in real life. I thought maybe there needs to be some special kind of weather or atmosphere, because all of my life I'd never seen one until like the last few years. So now in the last maybe year, I actually do see something like this. I will see it not quite as extreme as some of these, but I have seen something more along like this line sometimes. Now I do see them, but just that much, not quite as much as some of these images on here. So they have come into my reality. And when I have looked at some of these images, this one's a real interesting one that we're also seeing, is that we're seeing that not only are there double rainbows, but the coloration between the rainbows is different. So this is supposed to be double rainbow with anti-crepuscular rays. So I'm seeing more and more images like this. Very pretty. You can see there's quite a few on here. So it looks like the rainbows are going to get change in coloration underneath them now, which is really cool. This one's kind of weird looking. It looks like they bend differently on this one. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or what. So anyways, yeah, crepuscular rays is supposedly it's like a cloud that'll block, and I do remember that light rays would get through, but I never saw any like these like super dark rays where a dark lines go across like this. I've just never, it's almost like reverse of these. So that's very new for me. Something like this where it looks like the dark fingers are going across. That's definitely new for me. And now we're getting these more extreme ones where they're very fat like this. And supposedly what we're seeing with the split sky is an exaggeration of those where it's just a very fat crepuscular ray or anti-crepuscular ray. So what's an anti-crepuscular ray? Well, apparently these rays can happen opposite the sun. So similar to crepuscular rays, but appear opposite of the sun in the sky. Anti-crepuscular rays are nearly parallel, but appear to converge towards the anti-solar point due to linear perspective. Anti-crepuscular rays are most frequently visible around sunrise or sunset. Okay, so they're saying that these are, I guess, continuations of some cloud up here that's blocking the light. And they're actually parallel, but since they're going away from us, they look like they converge at the horizon. Okay, so I've heard some talk about how come these crepuscular rays are not parallel. Okay, so the storyline that we're getting is that they actually are parallel, but they don't look parallel. It's kind of hard to imagine, but if you imagine a road going off into the distance, though a road would be, the lines would all be parallel, one would assume. But yet, when you look at it, it disappears off. It looks like they're converging off in the distance. So the storyline that we're getting is that's why these rays also look like they're disappearing off into the distance, because they're like a road. They're getting farther away. They're much further away here than they are here. So that is a good storyline to explain it. I can't argue with that storyline. It's a good storyline. However, I can say that this weird split sky and the current look of the crepuscular rays are very new to me. I used to see these all the time, and I used to wish that I could, I'd see them in magazines, and I used to wish that I could see it for real, and I never could, and now I can. So, the one thing I do also want to add is that on our region, we never used to get the beautiful red sunsets, and I used to see those in magazines, and I used to wish that we could get them. And I asked even people, why don't we get them here? And people are like, oh, it's more humid back east. That's why they get them. Well, the last 2 years, and especially the last year, we get phenomenal sunsets. I mean, this image doesn't even do it justice. I don't know why the cameras can't really see the colors really well, but this was just screaming pink, red sunset here. It was just ridiculous. Beautiful sunset. We've also got a little bit of that crepuscular rays thing. Let's see, where is it here? We've got this one where it lit up these front clouds, but not the clouds behind. That was a really good look. Again, this in real life was much more pink and red. I don't know why my camera can take an image of an ordinary red thing, but it can't see an image of red sunsets. It's just weird. It's like it refuses, or my eyes are seeing something different than what's really there. I don't know, but the whole camera can't see what I see thing is starting to bug me more and more now that there's the ME. But anyway, so that's the latest. Compliments of Sagittarius Craig. Thank you very much for noticing that new phenomena. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.